Calafiori. Interesting transfer. And I'll tell you why it's an interesting transfer, a transfer for me, potential transfer, is it would prove that you don't just write off foreign media because they're not a fashionable journalist, because the Italian press has been talking about this for over a week now, that Arsenal have got a genuine interest and they're looking at him. Sports Witness reported this morning that a monster offer has been proposed. You've now had Fabrizio not say that the deal is, not say that an offer has gone in, but Fabrizio has said, and I want to make sure I'm quoting him correctly here. I think I bookmark it. I think he said something along the lines of the paths, Damasio, sorry, said the paths of Riccardo, Calafiori and Arsenal are getting closer and closer. And Fabrizio said, and I want to make sure I read out what he stated to be correct. So apologies, gents. I thought I had it bookmarked, but I didn't. So now I've got to search it and wait for it to load, and my computer's running slowly. He stated that Arsenal have presented a long-term proposal to Calafiori after interest revealed last week, and he understands that the player is open to joining them. So this is sort of, a lot of people wrote this off maybe 4 or 5 days ago. No chance, Arsenal not involved. It's just paper talk. Now Fabrizio sort of confirms a similar story from this morning, that an offer has been made and that the player is open to joining Arsenal. Obviously, you watch a lot of Serie A as an Inter fan, Mo. What do you make of this as a piece of business potentially for Arsenal?
Let's ask the Italian.
Great. It's a great. Okay, so it's a great signing, but I don't think the player should go to Arsenal. I actually don't think the player should go to Arsenal. I think he should go to Liverpool. I get that Arsenal are trying to build from a player's perspective. From Arsenal perspective, I salute Arsenal. I clap. I say brilliant. If you can get this over the line, brilliant business. This is how you build a winning team. But from a player's perspective, I think he wouldn't start for Arsenal with Timber, Gabriel, Saliba, and Ben White. And I get what people are saying, that, oh my God, we're trying to build a team. For Arsenal, it's great. The fans should be very happy that the club is moving in the right direction. And I'm not trying to be controversial. I said that yesterday. I said Liverpool should be all over this deal. He goes to Liverpool. He allows them to play 3 at the back. If Konate is injured, Van Dijk moves to the right side, which is he can do. We've seen it at the Euros. He can do it. And Calafiori plays at the left center back. I actually, to be honest, I am thinking if this slipping from underneath Michael Edwards' hands, people should start asking questions. If the wages that are reported and that
if this slips, sorry, this slipped.
If this slips under Michael Edwards' hands and he goes to Arsenal, done. Michael Edwards questions should be asked. And I'm not going to turn this into a Liverpool thing. For Arsenal, he's a brilliant signing. Can play left center back, can play left back. This is Arsenal. So from Arsenal's perspective, this is Arsenal moving like, okay, now we are going to the ready players. This guy helped Bologna get to the Champions League for the first time, right? So he is, as you saw in the Euros, every time I watched this guy, he looked brilliant at Bologna. When they played Juventus, when they played Inter, he looked absolutely fantastic. So for Arsenal, it's a brilliant piece of business, right? It's a brilliant piece of business for Arsenal. But Liverpool have to be looking at themselves, and the fans are saying, Michael Edwards this, Michael Edwards that. Why aren't Liverpool all over this deal? And also, the wages that are reported are very small, are less than 100K a week. Why aren't Liverpool moving for this guy? I don't know. Arsenal, if they can get this over the line for 50 million euros, as reported this morning, and less than 100K a week, this is a fantastic and a brilliant signing. Now Arsenal are moving like Man City. They're getting ready-made players to be benched for them. But but
who told you Calafiori will be benched? That's the part I don't get.
Where is he going to start?
They play 4 center-backs. They don't play 1.
There is Timber, Ben White, Gabriel Saliba. Where would he start?
Left back.
And Timber?
I don't think Timber is a guarantee. Timber and Ben White can fight for the right back position. I think left back is where Calafiori starts. You put Saliba and Gabriel.
You spun my head.
What do you mean? No, Timber and Ben White can fight for the right back position. Why should it be guaranteed? Timber was out all year, all the time last year as well. Why acting like he's a guaranteed? You know, he's gonna play and he's gonna cook and all this. We don't know that yet. We have to see that first for us to talk about.
I thought Timber, when he came in the last part of the season, he played as a left back, and Ben White is the starting player for the right back. He already formed.
And now Ben White. Yes, and now Ben White and Timber can fight for who starts right back.
Bro, Ben
Left-
White already formed that union with Saka and Odegaard on that side and Saliba. I
No,
thought
what
that could be a
union?
difference.
Playing 3 games is not union, Mo.
3
Have some
games.
shit.
Bro, they played 2 seasons together. These 4 players. Saliba,
Who's-
Ben White, Odegaard, Saka has been played on that right side for the past 2 seasons together.
Oh, you're talking about the right side. No, that's
Yeah.
not my point. I'm not saying Ben
What
White
is
should
your
be
point?
dropped. I'm saying him and Timber are going to fight for that spot. I think Calafiori, if I'm in Calafiori's position, I'm going Arsenal because of the continuity, the sustainability, the fact that they've challenged for a title race in 2 years, the fact that Liverpool are extremely unserious. We are the smallest big club in the transfer window ever known to mankind. It's funny because, Mo's saying, oh, Michael Edwards should be all over this deal. I was talking about Calafiori, Mo can vouch, and Terry before this Euros thing happened, before any of that happened. Listen, Liverpool don't win transfer sagas. Liverpool don't win transfer wars. If 2 clubs are in for a player, it's very rare that they end up choosing us. And I think one of the main attractions for Liverpool was the fact that Jurgen Klopp was manager. Now that Jurgen Klopp is no longer manager, I think we find it even more difficult to attract players, in my honest opinion. So I think, look, it makes sense for Arsenal, it makes sense for Liverpool. He would definitely start for us, and he would he guaranteed starter for us versus might face competition at Arsenal. But over at Liverpool, guaranteed starter. And I would take him tomorrow happily. I've been shouting at Liverpool fans who still say the same typical crap every single summer. Oh my God, wait till the transfer window is closed. And then when the transfer window closes, just get behind the lads. There's nothing we can do about it now. It's just the typical same old crap for the last 3 years. Everyone knows in the summer, it's more Hussam versus Liverpool fans than anyone else, to be fair. So, yeah, I'd sign him tomorrow, happily. You're on mute, Terry. We can't hear you.
Very sorry, some news that came through. Look, personal news that is. So look, I think Calafiori is an interesting talent. I didn't know too much about him before the Euros. Very aware of that. I thought he's been excellent at the Euros. It's still then about doing your research, and I don't just mean watching compilations. I don't just mean looking at Y-Scout. It's important to read reports on him, what professionals have said, and it's important to go back and read them from not what people are saying now. Go back 6 months, go back 9 months, go back a year. Because the predictions within those scouting reports and then what he is now doing and producing are such a key indicator to somebody's development and their ability. If people now are like, oh, wow, he could be the next big thing. So, okay, what were you writing about him a few months ago? Nothing. There's the first article you've done on him. You can't have even watched him enough. If there's someone out there, if you go and find a scouting report where someone's spoken about him 3 years ago, spoken about him 9 months ago, and spoken about him again now, and they all interconnect, and you can see the growth of the player. There's so much about him that I've read, so much about him that is excellent, but it is ability at the moment. Of course, there is some delivery within that, but it's about what he can be. I think that he's a very good signing for Arsenal from the perspective of what he could become. I also like the fact that he has the ceiling and the ability to really challenge Saliba, to really challenge Gabriel, to go into a left-back position if it's needed. And you will get Arsenal fans that say you can't break up the best centre-back pairing in the league. And I get that as a general base rule. First game of the season, you can't just be changing it round. But let's just say that Gabriel pulls his hand, ruptures his hamstring, first game of the season, is out for 2 months. Someone like Calafiori coming in, he has the ability not only to play well, but to develop. And then Gabriel could come back and not be able to get back into the team. Now, as a club, that's where you should want your squad to be. You should want it to be in a position where the guy that's the sub could come in and maintain a first-team position and keep out the guy that you now see as the star. That is where Man City are. That is where the Real Madrids and the Barcas, the Man Uniteds, the Liverpools, at their peak. That's what they had. The Milans, what they had. And I think that... Well, exactly. So from my point of view, I think this is a really interesting signing. I think that there is, again, this isn't someone who's ready-made, and not every signing should be. Not every signing has to be a 28-year-old that's in his pomp right now, because what you might not get from a 28-year-old top-class centre-back is someone who's willing to play second fiddle to begin with. But someone like Calafiori may see it as an option. My only worry for him is that he is leaving Italy too early. So if I was advising him, it would be, I know he's a little bit, was he 21 or am I mistaken?
22, yeah. It's too young,
22.
He's a young player. He's a young player.
He's young. He's not as young as the 17, 18-year-olds that break through. You know, the João Felixes of this world, the Renato Sanchez's that moved on too early. He is that little bit older. He's moving towards his mid-20s. So he's got far better chance of handling it now. It's not about being Premier League proven. It's about the age you are, moving countries, moving cultures, your life. Because it's definitely going to be different moving from where he lives now in Italy to London, if indeed that deal goes through. But what's also very interesting about this is don't rule out Chelsea. Because Chelsea are interested and Chelsea are also monitoring him. And I had a feeling, and this is something I've been wrong about, that I didn't think he would leave. And he may still stay, but I didn't think he would leave. The story now is that he's open to joining Arsenal. I believe he'll be open to joining Chelsea as well. I believe it'll be an exclusive thing to Arsenal. And we know what Chelsea do in these battles, don't we, Sam? They do it. So I would say watch out for Chelsea in this as well. And I think both of them may end up bidding for this guy. Do you think Chelsea could be a good move for him, or do you think he should steer clear? What's your take on that, gents?
Before Hussam goes on, can you just add something? Terry, he already played 1 year outside of Italy. In Basel.
Oh, did he? I didn't know that.
Yes.
Okay, right.
Your regular Italian defender. He played in the Swiss league for Basel last season. So it's a little. This is why, by the way, that's why he's openly open to move outside of Italy, because he experienced that before. Different than your normal Italian defender that are okay. Now I don't want to change the culture. I'm just gonna live here. So he went to a different culture, and Basel is more of a German culture. If I'm not, Basel is more of that German culture. So he moved outside of Italy before. Go ahead.
That makes sense.
Someone
Yeah,
need
on
to land
Chelsea.
about Calafiori, and if he goes to Chelsea, he's a dumbass. I don't want him at my football club if he goes to Chelsea. Like I would completely say he's just an idiot at that point. There is no need for Calafiori. He's a Champions League caliber player. He's a high level, top level player. He's definitely not a Conference League player. He's putting his career at too much risk going to Chelsea. He's going to get managed by Maresca, but then if Todd Bowley doesn't like, Maresca's eyeshadow, he's going to sack him in December, and then he's going to get a new manager and shit like that. He definitely shouldn't go to Chelsea. I think that would be the equivalent of career suicide.